And even if the sides of those who were calling it bad parenting were kind of being dicks about it. Hey geeks, welcome to my channel. I'm Trey Guillotine and you're watching Daily Marvels, where I give a few thoughts on some of the Marvel news that went on in the past week. Marvel Comics are getting a new Fantastic Four team. Kids from the Make-A-Wish Foundation visited the set of Deadpool 2, and Deadpool is getting his own card game. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it around so others can join in the conversation. The state of the Fantastic Four in the comics right now is that they're under the impression that Sue Storm and Reed Richards are dead, but apparently they're not. They're in some kind of like alternate universe. But for the comics, Johnny Storm and Ben Grimm thinks that Reed and Sue are dead. So they're going to basically have two new members of the Fantastic Four joining them, and those two new members are Hercules, which, as I understand, is another regular character in the Marvel Comics, and another character called, what's the name? Rachna Kuhl, who is a scientist who this character I believe is new, or if it's new, I have never heard of them before, but they're basically going to be getting a new duo to join the Fantastic Four, making them not the Fantastic Two, but the Fantastic Four. Once again, I bring this up because I have no idea the state of the plot of any of the characters in the Marvel Comics. I'm pretty much mainly focused on the Marvel Cinematic Universe, on the Marvel movies, on the Marvel TV shows. But I think I've gotten to that point where we're deep enough into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The reason I never really had a huge desire to pick up a lot of the Marvel Comics is because I was worried it was going to change my perception or my reception at the MCU films, and I didn't want that to happen. But I think we're far along enough in the MCU that I can start picking up the comics and start reading a little bit more about the heroes that I know so well in the MCU, and start reading about them a little bit more in the comics. So this is actually a question for you, is if I wanted to jump into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The other reason I haven't picked up the comics is because there are so many, and that's very, very intimidating. So I've read a few of the big stories, like I've read House of M, I read Avengers Disassembled, I've read Marvel Civil War, Avengers Civil War. So I've definitely read a few of the bigger stories, I mean like three or four of the bigger stories, but there's so much that I haven't read, and I would kind of, at this point, love to jump in. So where exactly, if you are a comic fan, let me know where I should jump in to start kind of getting myself more into the Marvel Comics universe. Deadpool is going to be getting his own card game. So the card game is going to be called Deadpool versus the World, and how the game is going to work is that the cards are going to be images and depictions of various situations that Deadpool has been in, with a blank, with the text bubble being blank, and then the players are going to write in whatever they think should be said by Deadpool or by whatever character the text bubble is coming from about the situation, and the funniest card wins. This game is being compared a lot to Cards Against Humanity, in the idea that it's like whoever's choosing it, the funniest card wins. And yeah, I see that. I definitely see the comparison, but Cards Against Humanity is also, you don't write them in, you pick the card, you pick the card that it says. But this actually sounds like a pretty fun game. I'd be pretty jazzed to play it. Recently, terminally ill children who are part of the Make-A-Wish Foundation visited the set of Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds gave them a whole tour of the set. They got to meet a lot of the celebrities in the movie. They got to meet a lot of the people who are behind the production, like the director, cinematographer. They also got to meet the prop master, who also made each child their own bamboo sword. I think I know the type of sword they're talking about, the kind of bamboo sword that's more for training, that has that loud crack, or maybe it's something completely different. But that's actually pretty cool. I mean, as a kid, I can imagine that being pretty cool, but some people didn't share that sentiment. They thought that the idea of children visiting an R-rated, the set of an R-rated movie was very irresponsible and very bad parenting. And Ryan Reynolds actually weighed in on this. He says, yep, Deadpool is R-rated. Yep, Deadpool is rated R. If my kid went through a fraction of the shit these kids deal with daily, I think they can watch whatever they like. And this is a situation where I actually kind of agree with both parties, because it's not a and or situation. It's not a black or white situation. There's not a right or wrong answer to this. I definitely believe Deadpool isn't necessarily for children. It's a very adult movie, 100% adult. I think it's irresponsible on parents' parts who think that, oh, well, Deadpool's a superhero, and they don't actually do the research or even look at the rating on the movie that their kid is talking about to actually understand what it is their children are trying to watch or trying to get into, and they buy them the Deadpool costume that's for 5-year-olds, which, like, I'm sorry, I don't think a 5-year-old should be watching Deadpool or be reading Deadpool. It's definitely not for kids. But I do think it's a little irresponsible on the term of the parents who, you know, they do this without actually doing any research, without actually getting educated on what it is that their kid is talking about. I think that's on the side. I think that's a fault on the side of the parents. However, if the parent does the research, if the parent, like, watches Deadpool and is like, yeah, I'm okay with my kid watching this, that's between the kid and the parent, and I'm fine with that, as long as, like, there's, like, actual research done on the side of the parent to know what it is they're going to expose their kid to, because, like I've said many times by now, Deadpool is very adult. So I do kind of agree with both sides of this argument, even if the sides of those who were calling it bad parenting were kind of being dicks about it. But I also agree that, yes, Ryan Reynolds is saying that, you know, what these kids are dealing with is a much bigger deal than whether they can watch an R-rated movie or not, and that I agree with. That, you know, Deadpool being a rated R comedy it pales in comparison to the things these kids are dealing with every day. So on the terms of just, you know, kids being exposed to Deadpool, that's between the kids and the parents, as long as there's, like, responsible research put into it, and they're not like, we want to see Deadpool because of superheroes, and then they get there and they're like, oh, that's Deadpool, and they're surprised because they didn't actually take 5 minutes to read a Wikipedia article. What do you think of these daily marvels, and were there any news that you'd like to talk about? Let me know in the comments, and follow me on all the internets. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it around so others can join the conversation. You can check out my written reviews of Marvel TV shows and movies at www.treyguillotine.com, and subscribe to my channel to geek out some more. Thanks for watching, and have fun.